Hello Booktube! Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth and this is going to be part 1 of my April book haul. I'm going to go ahead and divide my April book haul into 4 parts again this month. I really like doing that because I read from a wide variety of genres, and so of course when I'm buying books at library book sales and used bookstores, I tend to buy books of many different genres, and I know that everyone is not interested in every one of these books. So I thought, just to kind of gear each video towards a more target audience, I would go ahead and divide it up, and that way it makes each video not quite so long. So this time, instead of doing cozy mysteries first, I'm going to do my adult fiction first. Now, the majority of my adult fiction is Christian fiction. I also got a few audiobooks that are Christian fiction, and then I did get 3 fantasy books, and then a few other books that are just miscellaneous adult fiction. So this is going to be adult fiction. Here we go. I am most excited about the Christian fiction that I got this month. I got several books that I really wanted, and some that I didn't even know existed until this month, and I'm just really excited about them. So let me show you. This one excited me the most because I never had any idea that I would be able to find this in any kind of a used situation. This is called Those Pearly Gates, a homegrown novel by Julie Cannon. I bought the first 2 from Book Outlet in my Black Friday haul, and I never expected to be able to find the third one. Our library doesn't have it, and I just came across it at a library book sale. I haven't read any of them yet, but I'm even more excited now to read them. I did not know that they were Christian fiction, but what's neat is that I found a little note. Someone named Pamela gave this book to her mother, and apparently she gave her all 3 books, and she says, "Hi Mother, did you get 3 books? It's from Mother's Day 2006. I think the third one should come tomorrow. They shipped it from a separate Barnes & Nobles. The 3 books are written by a gal from Georgia. Love and Homegrown Tomatoes comes first. Mater Biscuit is second." That's what got me when I saw the title Mater Biscuit. That's why I wanted to read these. And Pearly Gates is the third. Then she writes a little bit more, and then she says, "She writes like Fanny." Well, she must mean Fanny Flagg, who is my favorite author of standalones. So I am super excited to read these books. Now I have all 3, and I have a feeling I'm going to wish that there were 20 more because I'm really excited to read these books. Another book I found from a series that I started on audio from the library, and the library did not have this one on audio. This is The Rescue by Lori Wick. It's part of the English Garden series. And I got books 2 and 3 in a series by Jeanette Oak that I have not read yet. This is the series that follows the Love Comes Softly series. So this is about the children of the family in Love Comes Softly. I've had book 1 for a long time and read it. I picked up book 4 not too long ago, and then I was at my friend's flea market bookstore, and she had books 2 and 3, A Searching Heart and A Quiet Strength. So now I have, I believe there's only 4 in this secondary series, so I have all 4 of these, and I will be able to read these now. I got a Grace Livingston Hill book for my collection that I did not have previously. This is called Mary Arden. And then if you watched my video about 7 authors that I've collected but I've never read, I mentioned a series by Jody Thomas that is the Harmony series. Someone was commenting to one of my videos, and I had mentioned the Harmony series. So she said, "Oh, be sure to read, I think it was called Change of Heart from the Harmony series. That's a really good one." And so I looked it up, and there's a whole nother Harmony series that I had no idea about, and it's by Philip Gulley. So I was at a library book sale earlier this month, and I happened to find book 1 of the Harmony series by Philip Gulley, both in audio on cassette and in print form. So I picked them both up, and I found these within about 2 or 3 days after I had found out that they even existed. So I wrote her back and I said, "I guess God wants me to read the Philip Gulley Harmony series because I found book 1, and book 2 is available on cassette from one of the libraries in my county, so I'll be able to check that out, and I will eventually work my way to the one that she recommended as being especially good." So I don't want to go into too much detail about this now because I have read this book. I have finished this book this month, and I'll talk about this in my wrap-up. I was at a library bookstore that is in another town in our county, and they had several of the Mitford books on cassette, and I could listen to these books over and over and over. So they were so inexpensive that I just went ahead and picked them up so that I could listen to them in my car. There's a box set of the first 4 books, and these are abridged, but I've listened to these several times, and I don't mind that they're abridged. It just keeps me in that world. And this is A Common Life. This is Father Tim and Cynthia's wedding story. I believe this is book 5, A New Song. And while I'm on the subject of audiobooks, I also found When Tomorrow Comes by Jeanette Oke. This is book 6 in the Canadian West series. I have the first 4 books in print form, and I know I have read book 5, but I was looking at this, and I'm not absolutely sure I've ever read this. I think I have, but I don't remember a lot about it. So this is an abridged version. So I'll know, it hasn't even been opened. When I listen to this in my car, I'll be able to figure out if I've read it or not. And my last audiobook in this part of my haul is Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Fannie Flagg. I'm not going to listen to this right away because, okay, this is the only Fannie Flagg book that I have not ever read. And she's my absolute favorite author of standalone books. And this is her most popular book. Why haven't I read it? Well, here's the reason. I've listened to all of her books on audio. I have started collecting them in print, but I have not really sat down and read any of them except A Redbird Christmas. But when I was in my Fannie Flagg reading frenzy and reading all of her books, our library, our county library system, did not have this on audio, and to my knowledge, I don't think they still do. I found this at a library book sale, but it was obviously donated by someone. And so I got the print book and I tried to read it, but I think I was in kind of a reading slump. I just wasn't into reading print books at that time, and I just never went back and read it. I have purchased a print copy and just never got around to reading it. I do plan to read this before I actually listen to this because this is abridged, and I really want to get the whole story before I listen to any abridgments. But I couldn't resist picking it up because I have never been able to find this book on audio before. Now I will show you the 3 fantasy books that I got. I picked up Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I have heard this all over BookTube. I really don't know anything about it. And I'll tell you, would you guys who have read it, please let me know if this is one of those books that has a lot of bad language or a lot of themes that I might not enjoy. Because I tell you, this last month has put me through the ringer with contemporary books that have so much bad language, and I'm just over it. I really want to just go back to Anne of Green Gables and Little House on the Prairie for a while because I'm just up to here with the F word. And so let me know, please, if I'm going to need to worry about that with this book. Then I just picked this up the other day from my own library. I saw it laying there, so I decided to go ahead and purchase it myself. It's Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I would love to read this series. I also want to read the Dorothy Must Die series. But before I read either of these, I am going to read at least several of the original Wizard of Oz series, and I plan to read the first 2 at least for Middle Grade May Reads, which is coming up in May. So, but I did go ahead and pick this up. I love the green edges of the pages, and I'm excited to get this. And then I decided to jump on the Robin Hobb bandwagon. The main library book sale I went to this month was doing Fill-A-Bag for $2 because it was the 3rd day of the sale, and I picked this up. I didn't know at the time where it fell into the different series by Robin Hobb, but of course I hear Sam on Novels and Nonsense and various other people talk about how great they are. So this is from the Farseer trilogy, which I did see that this is the first series, but this is not the first book in this series. So I'll hang on to this for a while and see if I can find the first book because our library doesn't have it, and hopefully I will get to this one of these days. A couple of silly books I got. I've seen one of these before and I decided to go ahead and pick them up. It was Fill-A-Bag for $2. Politically Correct Bedtime Stories and then Politically Correct Holiday Stories. These are by James Finn Garner, and I thought they looked fun. Good readathon books, just a little tiny. And then Jen from Today in Jen's library always talks about Jill Shalvis and how great she is. So they had 2 of her books at the Fill-A-Bag sale, and I picked them up. I think these are books 5 and 6 in the Lucky Harbor series. So one is called Forever and a Day, and one is called At Last. Picked this up to send a friend of mine. This is my favorite book in the Miss Julia series. It's by Ann B. Ross. This is called Miss Julia Hits the Road. It's book 4 in the series, and in my opinion, it is the best one. They actually get her on a motorcycle in this book, and Miss Julia is a woman of a certain age who you would never in a million years put on a motorcycle. So you can imagine the comedy that ensues in this book, and it's great. I don't know much about this book. It is the sequel to The Tea House on Mulberry Street. I love the covers of these 2 books, and I had sent both of them to my sister. I have my own copy of the Tea House book, and so when I saw this, it was a great deal, so I just thought I'd go ahead and pick it up. And my sister's read them, and she said they're pretty good. You know, they're not like her favorite book of all time or anything, but she said she enjoyed them. And then I found this in our little free library, and I decided to bring it home. My sister has highly recommended The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton, and this is The House at Riverton by Kate Morton, and I believe it is her debut novel. So I decided to pick this up. I will probably send this to my sister. I may read it first if I can. If I can get it read before Thanksgiving, I may go ahead and take this with me so that I can give it to her at that point. But it's a really pretty cover, and it's a beautiful book in excellent condition, so I was excited to get it. That is all for my adult fiction. Stay tuned to my channel. I will also have a Cozy Mysteries haul and a middle grade and children's fiction haul, and then a nonfiction haul for April, and I will try to get those up as soon as I can. I'm going to be participating in RibSat this week, so I may not have a lot of editing time because I have 11 books that I really want to get to for RibSat, and if you haven't watched that video, take a look. That's on my channel. A lot of bookish things going on right now in my life. So that's all for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.